All right, let's get right into this explainer. Today we are unpacking something absolutely monumental. Rockstar's next big protagonists. You know, unlike previous titles where we bounced around between three totally different lives, the spotlight this time is locked onto a single criminal duo, Jason Duval and Lucia Caminos. We're going to break down exactly who these two are, what we know about their pasts, and honestly, what their roles mean for the massive fictional state of Leonida. So let's dive in.
Now think about this for a second. What if the two most important characters aren't just the stars of the game, but the absolute key to unlocking the entire story? Rockstar isn't just dropping us into a new Vice City to cause chaos. They are building this massive world entirely around Jason and Lucia's relationship. It's not just about, stealing cars and running from the cops anymore. It's about how their specific bond, their choices, and their baggage actually drive the narrative forward. The mystery of these two isn't just some background flavor, it's literally the engine of the whole game.
To really grasp how this works, we've got to look at the core framework here, which is the classic outlaw-partner dynamic. Think of it as a criminal relationship where two people have absolutely no choice but to rely on mutual trust as they sink deeper and deeper into some seriously dangerous situations. It's a classic trope, sure, but as we go through this explainer, you'll see how it sits at the absolute heart of the game. It's a structural choice that forces the story to revolve around human connection just as much as, well, high-speed chases and heists.
Okay, let's dive into this by starting with the first half of our duo, Jason Duval, the reluctant criminal. So, Jason brings this very grounded, incredibly gritty tone to the table. He clearly has experience dealing with dangerous people. But, and this is crucial, unlike past protagonists who are either, aspiring kingpins or retired heavyweights, Jason doesn't seem to be starting from a position of power at all. Actually, his whole vibe revolves around just trying to build a better life. But, because there's always a but in Leonida, the criminal underworld just keeps pulling him right back in. It's that classic desperate struggle of a guy trying to outrun his own shadow.
Which brings us to the other side of the coin, Lucia Caminos, the ambitious outlaw. And let me tell you, she is a full-on protagonist, definitely not just a sidekick. Now what's really interesting about this slide is where her journey actually kicks off. Lucia starts her story the exact moment she steps fresh out of prison, yet she reconnects with Jason almost instantly. Rockstar is deliberately keeping her past shrouded in mystery, but one thing is crystal clear: her motivation. She is highly driven by her own criminal ambitions. She's got this distinct, fiery personality and an undeniable drive that propels her forward. She's a wildly proactive force right from the jump.
When you put these two profiles side by side, man, the contrast is just brilliant. On the left, you've got Jason, experienced, reluctant, basically looking for the exit door. And on the right, Lucia, fresh out of lockup, heavily driven, and fiercely ambitious. This dichotomy right here is exactly what makes their partnership so incredibly volatile and exciting. It's literally an unstoppable force colliding with an immovable object, and they are strapped together just trying to survive. That push and pull, the ambition versus the reluctance, is guaranteed to create some massive sparks.
Let's move to the next piece and see how this builds. Because every great outlaw story needs a spark, right? An inciting incident. For Jason and Lucia, it looks like it unfolds in three brutal steps. Step 1, they attempt what looks like a totally easy score. Step 2, things go disastrously, horribly wrong. Step 3, they get swept up in a massive criminal conspiracy. Suddenly they're trapped. They aren't just two people trying to make a quick buck anymore. They are up to their necks in something way bigger, way darker, and infinitely more complex.
So, what does this all mean? It brings us to the ultimate question hanging over their entire journey. Will they become Vice City's most untouchable, dangerous partnership, or are they going to turn on each other? Think about it. When you're caught in a massive conspiracy after a botched job, the pressure is astronomical. Can they actually trust each other? Will Jason's desperate need for a quiet life just completely shatter against Lucia's raw ambition? That overarching tension is exactly what's going to keep us totally gripped by their story.
Now, obviously, Jason and Lucia aren't operating in a vacuum. Let's look at Leonida's massive criminal ecosystem.
This ecosystem is wild. It's a living, breathing machine tangled up in music, nightlife, and sprawling illegal businesses, and it is packed with a massive supporting cast. We're talking names like Cal Hampton, Booby Ike, Draquan Priest, Real Dimes, Raul Bautista, Brian Heather, and this brilliantly illustrates the sheer, overwhelming scale of the underworld Rockstar has built around our duo.
It's not just a story about two thieves, it's about how they managed to survive a whole ecosystem full of absolute apex predators.
With all those moving parts, all those ambitious players on the board, we slam right into this huge, dramatic question. Who will betray who? Look, if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that this franchise absolutely loves turning best friends into bitter enemies. We've seen loyalties tested and alliances shredded time and time again. With Jason, Lucia, and this massive cast all fighting for power, the theories are already flying. And honestly, that's exactly how Rockstar wants it. They fed us just enough to get us paranoid, but not enough to know the truth.
So the crucial point is this. Trusting the wrong person in Leonida could be the biggest mistake of all. Jason brings his underworld connections, and Lucia brings her raw ambition and that mysterious past. Together, yeah, they could be one of the most iconic duos in gaming history. But the real crux here isn't just who they are, it's how far they're willing to go in a world where trust is basically non-existent. When you finally get behind the wheel, remember, every single alliance could be a trap. I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. Based on everything we've looked at in this explainer today, the ambition, the reluctance, that terrifying criminal conspiracy, and the massive scale of Leonida, who do you actually think will be the most dangerous character in GTA 6? Is it going to be Jason with his gritty experience? Lucia with her absolutely unstoppable drive? Or someone completely off the radar, just lurking in the shadows? Think about it. Drop your predictions down below and keep all this in mind as we gear up for what's coming. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep digging into the